You want to be successful, but you have no idea how to get there. You have no idea how you're going to achieve that thing. But I actually think you do have an idea. And actually, I think you already have the tools to achieve that thing that you want. Who am I? I'm nobody. It's not important. What's important is that I achieved something that I wanted very badly for 8 years. And I got it. And I wanted to pass this information on to someone else. Tell them how I did it. Tell them how I achieved that dream that I wanted so desperately. And it comes simply by listening to advice. Your parents, you already know the information you need to know, which is just say no to other things. You know, your parents used to say, practice makes perfect. Well, yeah, we all know that. Come on. Let me qualify all of this by saying, I'm not someone who achieved things because I was talented or because I was gifted or because I had a lot of money. I certainly had none of that. So you're in the same boat as me if you're just a run-of-the-mill person, just average. What you can do, though, to achieve something that you want, if you're not particularly exceptional, is simply say no to everything else. It's called discipline. I'm sure that word might have negative connotations, or maybe it's got other negative connotations because you've seen things on the internet of people saying discipline, and you're like, yeah, if I do 1,000 pull-ups, I'll get better at pull-ups. Whatever it is, if I practice my makeup every morning, I'll get better. Yeah, I've heard it all before. Well, I'm living proof that someone that's average can achieve something that's exceptional if you make exceptional decisions. And what I mean by that is saying no to everything that is not that thing. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have friends. It doesn't mean you can't have family. But it does mean saying no to friends, saying no to family, saying no to games and girls' night, and whatever it may be that's not that thing. You are 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. You may have heard that phrase. Those hours, you don't really have any excuse to not be using them for your thing. Now, let me just pause for a moment and say, you can have friends and a family life and love the people that you're with, love the ones you're with, right, as the song goes, and still achieve something great and still be exceptional. I'm not saying run off and say, F you to all your family. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, for the 12-hour lake day that your family get-together is doing, maybe you show up for 6 hours and go, you know what, there's some things I would like to work on. And believe me, you're gonna get roasted, okay? Everyone at that dinner is gonna go, oh, he thinks or she thinks they're too good for us. They're gonna be a businesswoman, or they're gonna be an athlete, or whatever the thing is for you. The same principle applies. When you say no to something that's hard to say no to, you're doing something that your competition is not doing. You're setting yourself apart. You are doing the exceptional. You are exhibiting discipline. Now, again, to be clear, it doesn't mean you need to be disrespectful to people. It doesn't mean that you need to think you're better than people. What it does mean is that you have to deal with the hate that will come your way, because your friends, your closest friends, will probably say, oh, this guy or this girl thinks they're so much better than us, or that. And the truth is, you are trying to rise to a certain level in whatever aspect, whether it's health, fitness, the Olympics, whatever. It could be as simple as business. Pardon me. It could be something as straightforward. Business isn't straightforward either. You know what I mean. It could be business. The same principles apply. If you are wasting your time with video games, if you are wasting your time with the movies, if you're wasting your time with girls' night or clubbing or partying, you know what these things are. You know how much time you spend on your phone, on your computer, doing things between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. Everyone has that time. There are very few people that don't. And those that don't are probably doing another activity. Now, the question is, if you really want this thing, is that activity getting in the way of succeeding? And if the answer is yes, that's the trade you have to make. If every night you're going to meet all your friends at the restaurant, or you're going to meet up on Saturday mornings and play recreational sports or go on a hike, which, by the way, I'm a big advocate for going outside, you have to choose the right things at the right time. That doesn't mean you can't have a social life. And let me give you something that really helped me. because maybe this is all kind of abstract. I heard a wonderful quote from a doctor. He said, you know, deep down, you know what you have to do every day to be successful. You know. You know what you should be saying no to, whether it's the donut or the pizza or hanging out with that group of friends because they're going to get up to no good. You know, I should say no to this. I should study this manual because it'll help me pass the test, which will help me get into this certification, which will help me get this thing that I want. The same principle applies. You know what you need to do deep down. The tricky part is doing it. Oh, I'm shaking. The camera's shaking. That's the emphasis. The wind was orchestrated for this point. A book you could read on this principle is called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Now, everything in this book can be summarized with what you've probably already heard before. Practice makes perfect. But the difference between you and everyone else must be you show up every single day with no exceptions. It doesn't matter if you're sick. It doesn't matter if you really want to go see that movie. It doesn't matter what the thing is. You have to show up every single day. And by the way, you have 6 days a week, not 5. You don't have 40 hours a week, you have 6. Now, if you're like me, if you're like many others, maybe you have school, maybe you have work, maybe you have other commitments that you're not willing to give up. That's fine. You and I both know you have from the time you wake up until your first commitment, and then you have the time when you get home till bedtime. And for most people, that could be 1 hour, that could be 4 hours, that might even be 8 hours that you have every single day that you're choosing to spend getting fat watching Netflix. And we're all guilty of it, okay? Gluttony is a sin, and it doesn't matter your size. You've got to say no to these things. And you know, maybe about now you're like, what's this young whippersnapper? I'm a little older than I look. But what's important is these principles are true. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete. It doesn't matter if you want to be a musician. It doesn't matter if you want to do something that other people perceive as mundane, but you're just good at it. And you're like, man, I could make some money doing this thing, teaching this thing, learning this thing, passing this thing along. Whatever it is and wherever you are, if you commit to it every day, somebody else that's also competing for that thing you want, they're probably not doing it every day. And by the way, it's a dog-eat-dog world. You don't like it, then you're not going to win. The fact that you're competing against other people is a fact. There's going to be competition, and you've got to beat them. If you show up consistently and take that 5 to 9, say no to that party, it'll take many, many years. It's not an overnight thing, but you will get there. I hope it's been a little helpful. I've studied this concept most of my life because I really wanted something. Actually, there's a lot of things I still want, but the big one I finally achieved. And believe me, it's confusing, it's difficult, but you can do it. So get out there and work hard. Bye-bye.